This episode of the Ageless and Awesome podcast is sponsored by the Radiant Reset Hormone Detox Guide for Perimenopausal Women. As a woman in the modern world, our hormones are taking a battering. They're impacted by the food we eat, the toxins we're exposed to, such as when we eat out of plastic takeaway containers, or even worse, reheat food in them. Please don't do this. If you're handling FPOS receipts, filling the car with fuel, eating non-organic produce that hasn't been washed effectively, plus so much more things add to our toxic load every day. Even though our bodies are designed to effectively manage toxins, they haven't evolved as quickly as our toxic world has, unfortunately. So our body does need support. Symptoms such as stubborn weight gain, fatigue, disrupted periods, irritability, and gut health issues can be a sign that you'd benefit from a gentle detox. And that's why I developed the Radiant Reset Hormone Detox Guide for Perimenopausal Women. This free guide has an abundance of information to get you started on your very own DIY detox. And if you'd like to upgrade to VIP, it's only $47 for a limited time. I used to sell this program for $247. The upgrade gives you the recipes, including plenty of plant-based options, the meal planner, the shopping list template, the video workshop, and so much more. Click the link in the show notes to learn more now. Take care of your hormones. They are a critical part of your health as a woman. Hi, I'm Susie Garden, and this is the Ageless and Awesome podcast. I'm an age-defying naturopath and clinical nutritionist, and I'm here to bust myths around women's health and aging so that you can be ageless and awesome in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. The Ageless and Awesome podcast is dedicated to helping women through perimenopause and menopause with great health, a positive mindset, and outrageous confidence. Hit subscribe or follow now, and let's get started. Hello, gorgeous one, and welcome to Q&A Thursday. And I really love this question this week. This is from Tess from Melbourne. And Tess writes to me that she has knee pain and she can't really do a lot of exercise. And she's wondering, how can I lose weight when I can't exercise? Well, I love this question because I think it's a real... what's the word? It's a myth that you can't lose weight if you can't exercise. That all harks back to that absolute bugbear that I have, that you know I have if you're a long-time listener, about the calories in, calories out concept. Because weight loss is so much more complex than that. And particularly for women, and particularly for women over 40. And the thing is, there's actually some really good evidence that even if we take out the food for a minute, so you know I'm all about the food. And what I would say to you, Tess, if you have knee pain and if you have pain in any part of your body, that means you have inflammation. And so eating foods that are going to lower inflammation in your body are going to help address that knee pain. And I see very fast improvements in people's body pain, even people that have complex autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or lupus. And when they go on the GLOW protocol and get their personalised nutrition, one of the key objectives is to reduce inflammation, because inflammation blocks weight loss. So that is one aspect of it. But I thought, you know what, I know, because I hear this a lot from the women that I work with, is often exercise can feel quite daunting. To walk into a gym can feel quite daunting, particularly if you haven't ever been to a gym before or it's something you're really unfamiliar with. And even for myself, I mean, I do gym at home, but I would feel extremely self-conscious and like I've got no idea what I'm doing if I walk into an actual public gym. So what I say to my clients all the time is you cannot underestimate the benefits of walking on weight loss. And there's a number of reasons for this, which I'm going to go into. And the thing is, you don't actually have to do this for very long. There's some really good evidence for taking short walks. I'm talking like around 10 minutes or 15 minutes after eating. It has 5 real health benefits, which is awesome, just from a 10-minute walk. And I've started doing this at lunchtime. And because I normally get up, walk my dogs, have brekkie, and then work. And at lunchtime, I usually just, grab lunch and keep going through. And what I've started doing, because the weather's just so beautiful at the moment here where I live, is I've been going for a 10-minute walk at lunchtime. And for a start, it's really refreshing for the mind. So I do like it for that reason. But there are a whole bunch of other physiological benefits, which I'm going to go into now. The quick 5, if you want the quick and dirty, it's going to improve your digestion. It's going to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease or heart disease. It can improve your blood sugar management, so your balance of insulin and glucose, and that really helps with hunger later in the afternoon. It can help you maintain a healthy weight and promote better sleep. So there's a few symptoms. Let's get started. Let's start with improved digestion. There's been a couple of different studies that have shown this, that people that have bloating, in particular, constipation, reflux, or abdominal type pain, one of the ways you can relieve that is a quick walk. Because walking stimulates your stomach and intestines, makes your food move through your intestinal system more quickly. And, a good example of seeing the impact of just sitting all day is if you take a long haul flight. And when you live in Australia, pretty much if you're going to leave the country, it's going to be a long haul flight. Or even if you want to go from one side of the country to the other, it's a pretty long flight. And just if you sit that entire time, it really promotes bloating and it promotes constipation, because that just sitting all day, and particularly if you've got like pants on or a skirt on that have a fairly, solid waistband, or you're wearing a belt, it's not allowing for the gas that gets produced in your intestines every day to move around. It's not allowing for the food to move through your body, the fecal matter to move through your body. And so it can promote all these things: bloating, constipation, reflux, etc. So going for a 10-minute walk after you eat can really help to start working on some of those symptoms. You might be really surprised at how much that might help. It may not alleviate it completely because it depends on what the underlying cause is, but it may really help. And 10 minutes, gosh, it's ideal if you can do 10 minutes after each meal, but even 10 minutes after lunch, I think particularly for those of us who work in a seated position most of the day, I think that could be really helpful. And also, as I said, I'm finding it really refreshing for my mind to set me up for the rest of the afternoon. Also, it can reduce your heart disease risks. We just know that regular forms of movement will lower your blood pressure, your cholesterol, that kind of thing. So, and we know even one study actually showed doing small, quick exercises such as a 10 to 15 minute walk after meals compared with one long workout actually might be more beneficial in reducing the chances of heart disease. So I found that really interesting as well. But one of the main things that I'm really interested in is regulation of blood glucose levels, because I work a lot in menopause and perimenopause, obviously, but also weight loss. Regulating blood glucose levels is key for good health, for longevity, for all of us over 40 and 50 and beyond, because as we get over 40, our insulin resistance increases. So that means our insulin isn't working so well. So our blood glucose gets dysregulated, and that can lead to weight gain, and it can also increase our risk for diabetes, heart disease, etc. So if you can, after your meals, have a short walk, that will really help to regulate your blood glucose, because you start using the glucose that's just gone into your blood from that meal. And the evidence is kind of saying that not moving after eating might result in excessive spikes in blood sugar. And this then just overwhelms our liver, our muscles, and insulin will just try and store it as fat straight away to try and get it out of the blood. So insulin, amongst many things, is also our fat storage hormone. So we want to make sure we're regulating that, and the production of insulin is stimulated by having glucose in the blood. So if we can manage that, and if a 10-minute walk is going to do that, I'm all for that. I can spare 10 minutes to really regulate my blood glucose levels. I know for myself, and for you listening, and you, Tess, if you tend to store weight around your middle, which I know is my metabolic type, it does increase your risk for diabetes later on. It does increase your risk of insulin resistance. So for me, when I read that I can do a 10-minute walk and that will improve my ability to regulate my blood glucose and my insulin, that is a massive gain for a very small amount of effort. So that is a huge benefit. That one of the 5 benefits, just that one for me personally, and for my clients, I would say that's just like a non-negotiable. The other, there are 2 more to go. So one is promoting healthy weight loss. So again, it's because you expend energy when you walk, and you can regulate that blood glucose and that insulin, so you're not storing your fat. That really helps with promoting healthy weight loss. And because having a 10-minute walk, I mean, as long as you have some mobility, and Tess, I don't know the extent of your knee pain. If you do have some mobility where you can walk, even if you start with walking for a couple of minutes, sometimes I'm working with people that, even a walk to their letterbox is a little bit of a challenge. So if you can start with a very small goal, it doesn't have to be going out walking 10 minutes straight away, but starting with a small manageable goal and reaching that, and then just extending it very, very slightly the next day and very slightly the next day, you will get to 10 minutes very easily and quickly. But always listen to your body. And if that's too painful for you to do that, then, we need another strategy for you. And maybe it's using food to lower that inflammation to improve your body pain, and then get that movement coming in. Maybe that's the way to go for you, Tess, and for other people that are listening. So the final one is better sleep. And this is if you're walking after dinner, because it helps to regulate your circadian rhythm. It helps to enhance the body's natural sleeping and waking cycles. So it gets easier to get to sleep and enjoy deeper restorative rest. Also because, these walks after dinner can help with this post-meal stomach discomfort. So you're less likely to be bothered by that when you're lying down. A lot of people get particularly heartburn and reflux when they lie flat at night. So one of the ways you can help alleviate that is by raising the end of the bed or sleeping on a bunch of pillows, but potentially doing a 10-minute walk after dinner may actually help with moving that food down further so that it's not still in your stomach when you're going to bed, and therefore getting more likely to have that reflux coming up the esophagus. So I really feel, after reading all that I've read about this walking after eating, that there is a massive gain for really very little effort. I mean, obviously, for some people, 10-minute walk can be challenging, and depending on where you live as well, you obviously need to be safe. So, if you're not in an area where walking around at night is a good idea, then don't do it. But if even during the day, like for me at the moment, I'm just doing the 10-minute walk after lunch and taking one of my dogs with me. So they love it because they're getting a bonus walk. And that I'm finding is giving me more energy in the afternoon. And it just feels good. It feels good to have the sun on your skin. It feels good to be out in the fresh air. It feels good to be looking at trees and the sky and nature. And I often have been running into my neighbors and having a bit of a chat. So there are a lot of benefits to doing this. And again, very little effort. If you work in an office, it's usually pretty easy. Just walk around the block. Even if it's not, like I used to work in a corporate park, it's not normally a fairly pleasant place rather to walk around. A lot of concrete, but you're still seeing the sky, and there's benefits to that. You're still getting the sun on your skin, and there's benefits to that. And just getting out of that artificial air, even just for 10 minutes, not being on your phone, not being on your screen. All of that has benefit. And then plus all those 5 things that I mentioned, I'm just going to recap them for you. So improved digestion, so less bloating, less constipation, reflux, etc., just general discomfort in the gut, reducing your heart disease risk, regulating your blood glucose level, so that will reduce your risk for diabetes, promoting healthy weight loss, and better sleep. So Tess, I hope that has been valuable for you, and I hope other people listening, that has been valuable for you. I'd love to know. Send me a message at Susie Garden Wellness on Instagram, or even flick me an email, hello@susiegarden.com. Enjoy the rest of your day. Podcast is a little bit late today. I know. I'll be honest, I actually forgot completely. I forgot to record one yesterday, so I'm doing this on Thursday morning, and it'll, if you're listening to this Thursday night, this is a super fresh pod. So enjoy the rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining me today on the Ageless and Awesome podcast. If you liked today's episode, please make sure you click the little plus button if you're on Apple Podcasts, or the follow button if you're on Spotify, so that you get each new episode delivered to you every week. If you like free stuff, then head to the show notes and click the link to receive my free Radiant Reset Hormone Detox Guide for perimenopausal women. Or if you'd like to continue the discussion, head over to Instagram and DM me at Susie Garden Wellness. I'd love to connect with you.